Hello, fellow Redbirds. Welcome to Bird Fans Forever, podcast number 25. If you're new to our channel, you should check out our Bird Fans Forever Twitter account and follow in order to get the first notice of new videos that we publish. You can follow along there, also for other information and fun polls. Our website is www.birdfansforever.com, and on there you can find links to all episodes of our podcast across a plethora of apps. Apple, Google, Spotify, and others, as well as a tab to access our videos on YouTube, where we're also called Bird Fans Forever. So dunk on the YouTube subscribe button and follow us on Twitter so you'll be the first to see new episodes and get other fun information from us. Our guest for today is Brandon Holtz, who played with the ISU Redbirds from 2005 to 2009. We'll be right back with Brandon.
Hello and welcome to Bird Fans, episode number 25 with Brandon Holtz. He played at ISU from the fall of 2005 to the spring of 2009. Played on two NIT teams. Got to see Dana Ford's half-court miracle shot, and then tried to give Dana Ford a little love after we beat his ass in the game on in Redbird Arena the other night. So, Brandon, welcome to the how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us, guys. And yeah, we did whoop on Dana the other night. It was great. It was
yes. Great. We love it, right? We're at the games. And so, okay. That was a little cheesy opening, but, it's, you get what you paid for here at the Bird Fans Forever.
I think you're nervous.
No, I'm good. So, I'm nervous to be around you, the big star, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, Brandon, we start this always out. How did you get to ISU?
I got to ISU, obviously being from Bloomington, been an ISU fan. It's kind of funny growing up. Everyone around Bloomington is a U of I fan, right? Well, I hated U of I. I didn't want anything to do with U of I. Coming out of high school, obviously we're all basketball players, we're all competitors, so we want the top of the top. So obviously, I'm going to Duke, right? I'm going to Arizona. But reality set in real quickly, obviously. But no, ISU was a great program. They recruited me pretty hard. I had a few offers throughout the Missouri Valley, and the one thing that got me to ISU, other than being from my hometown, was the four guards: Vince Green, Trey Guidry, Greg Alexander, and then forgot his name. Oh, it's going to come to me now that you're talking about it. You put me on the spot. But those four guys were leaving, and I looked at it as an opportunity to come in and play right away. So that's besides that, and being from Bloomington, that was basically what guided me to ISU.
So you were in Bloomington, and we love the fact that you didn't like U of I, but
still don't.
Yeah, it only gets worse once you play for Illinois State too, right?
Yeah,
so,
right.
What players do you remember watching on those Illinois State teams when you went to
growing up? I mean, it's kind of funny because I was always a kind of competitor growing up, but I didn't really know or realize what the potential was. So I didn't really watch a whole lot of ISU until late, or college basketball for that matter, until late. But Tyrese Bryson, I mean, that guy was an absolute stud among studs, right? And then the funny thing is, Andy Strandmark, he was always the one that you saw him everywhere because he was 7 foot, right? 6'10",
right.
7 foot. So being a young guy, him being in the community, those are the two guys, because Tyrese scored 40 a game. It wasn't necessarily, obviously won 40 a game, but it was pretty damn close. And then Strandmark, just because he was huge. So those guys were always the guys in the community that you noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Yep. And we're trying to get Andy on. We had Tyrese on already, and Andy's been dogging me, and I've known Andy since he was a freshman, and so next time I see him, I'm just going to thump him upside the head. But that's what bigs do, right?
Right.
Oh, that's right, Brandon. You're a guard. You wouldn't understand that. Okay. All right, so we're going to roll right into your next easy question, right? And we're going to give you another lob here.
Well, I wish I could dunk it, but probably not.
We're talking about family, right? And having your younger brother watch you play, and now you get to watch your younger brother play. Talk about that.
Oh, it's been awesome. He has been a sponge growing up. I mean, he came to every game. Obviously, he didn't really have a choice, right? He was too young to have a choice, but he kind of took it all in, kind of created his own path. His senior year, he had an offer to go to UT Arlington. Senior year, he tore his ACL playing football, and then kind of basically had to start all over, right? Then went down to Vincennes, had a hell of a career down there, won a JUCO championship. Get out of there, goes to Western, had a really great career at Western, fantastic. And Vincennes and Western's been absolutely awesome to him. And then when COVID came around, he saw an opportunity to jump in the transfer portal and, just kind of see what's out there, right? And then ISU was a great fit. And, Coach Peden coming in first year, Colton being in the transfer portal, we're all starting from the same page, right? And I just hope he can get healthy. I mean, he's been great. He just needs to get healthy. He's battling a couple things, and hope to. I think after this week, things are going to start moving the right direction, and he's going to be pretty solid running through, the rest of the season into the conference tournament, and hopefully ISU can get back, make a late run.
Yeah. That would be
So
awesome.
Brandon, we have to ask you, okay, was Colton a bigger fan of Brandon, or was Brandon a bigger fan of Colton?
Oh, you kind of cut out on me there, Steve. What'd you say?
Was Brandon a bigger fan of Colton, or was Colton a bigger fan of Brandon?
I was a bigger fan of him. I mean,
All right.
Hey, at the end of the day, I did what I did, but it's time to, I'm all about passing it down. Even with my son now, Baker, he's 2 years old, and I want him to be way better than me, right?
Brandon, hold on for a second. You just talked about your son, right?
Well, yeah, threw my son in there for sure.
Show them how you taught your son how to shoot the basketball.
Well, this is you guys were, when we started it off, it was all about the indoor basketball arena. Well, here we go. We got that, and then we have the window that he threw the ball through after shooting to that one. We got like 3 full courts in our little sunroom here. But yeah, obviously I'm all about passing it down. I want everybody to be better than me. That's just who I am, really.
Yeah.
I still try to I still get him in the gym every once in a while, and I still dog his little butt, but trying to get him better.
Yeah. But in his defense, he would have been 7, 8 years old going to your games.
Oh yeah, 20. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
For
so
sure.
I mean,
if not younger, he might have been younger when he started.
Yeah. So he didn't realize what was happening in front of him. He's too young to know that. So
No, he didn't.
That's a bad question, Steve. We're going to dock you
The
pay.
thing is, when he really remembered it was when Redbird Arena was full, right? Especially my sophomore, junior, senior year. I mean, we were packing the house, and that's kind of what his drive was, is to get people back in the stands, And I think we're heading in the right direction. But it takes time, right? It takes time.
So Brandon, the 4 years that you were at school, you went through a coaching change similar to like what the players are going through this year. Let's talk a little bit about that. You played first 2 years for Porter, and then Jankovic came in your junior and senior. Talk about that transition.
Oh yeah, it was Porter, Coach Moser, Coach Baroni was the one that recruited me pretty hard to get to ISU, which was cool watching him getting his butt whooped at Redbird. Not Redbird, heck, that was in the gym, yeah. So that was a really cool
field house.
Yeah, I was right in Florida, unfortunately, during that game, but it was kind of cool to see that too. But no, it was definitely a different transition. The 2 different coaching styles, and I wouldn't necessarily say one was better than the other. I think with Moser it was more of a defensive strategy, and then Jank was more of the offensive of coach, and things were just different. I think in the mid-major especially, we need offense. We need excitement. We need people to come to the games. You know, it's not like Kentucky. You know, go down to Kentucky. People are going to come to the games no matter what. Doesn't matter. It's big time basketball, right? Mid majors, I think you struggle to get people in there. You got to get it excited to watch. I think with Jank, we had more of a offensive strategy. And you guys might be able to look it up, but I want to say we were averaging 70 plus points. My junior senior year when we won 24, 25 games.
For sure.
And I'm a big advocate. You know, they say defense wins championships. Well, I would like to battle that every day, because if I score 100 points, not a whole lot of teams are going to be able to score 101, right? And that's just my personal belief, because me growing up, you score, you get noticed. And we can teach defense, right? But again, if I score 100, good luck scoring 101. But that's what it was. That was the difference.
Yeah, and as a fan, you definitely saw the differences in the styles you're talking about. Clearly, exactly. Night and day.
We were just talking in the break. You know, my freshman year, we won 9 games. We had more fans at Bloomington High School basketball games than we did at ISU college games, right? We won 9 games my freshman year, and then my junior senior year we won 25, 26 games.
Yeah.
The drastic difference, and Bloomington, this community, born and raised here, Bloomington is a very tight knit. We're either all in or we're all out, right? Which is unfortunate, just because trying to build a program, the support isn't always necessarily there. And I'm not saying like the inside guys, the really diehards. I'm saying the guys that are on the outside. Hey, February 10th, what are we going to do tonight? Well, if ISU's not winning, they're not really looking at ISU basketball, unfortunately. And that's just the thing that we need to change, and it just takes winning. February 10th, back in 2008, they were coming to the basketball games, right? And that's my experience. There's a couple other years at ISU basketball, even when I was growing up, youngster, like that's what we did. We went to the ISU basketball games, and now we're transitioning and hoping to find that want and that need to go watch ISU basketball again. And the women are doing their part. The women are awesome. You know, we're getting fans in through the women's games. We just need to move it to the men's too. We need to do. They need to do their part.
Tell people about like the experience as a player. In like junior senior, I remember we started like 14-0. I didn't have season tickets, but we were coming down for games and stuff like that, and you couldn't get a lower bowl ticket, so you're sitting in the upper bowl, but it's just super loud there. But on the lower bowl, it's got to be 10 times louder. I mean, talk about the emotion and just the feel when there's 10,000 people in that stadium.
Specifically the Bradley games. I mean, those games were incredible. I mean, the whole stadium would be rocking. I mean, you could just feel it moving. And then they throw the confetti, when we make our first basket, red and white confetti just all over the lower bowl. I mean, that was cool things to watch. And I had front row seat. I got to watch my players score the first basket. I had front row seat, and I got to take it all in. Those guys had to get back and play defense. But it was the difference. And as a season ticket holder now, we want that, right? All the season ticket holders, anybody that goes to the game wants that, absolutely. Right? Mm-hmm. We just need some excitement. And I think, again, like I said, the transition period is always tough, but I think we're going to head in that right direction. And I see good things.
And like you, Brandon, I want that gift for the players playing today to know what it feels like to play in front of a packed house, right? Like you, I played in front of packed house night after night after night, and there's just nothing. The electricity and we very rarely lost at home during my era, just because the crowd was always in it, right? And so it was awesome, and to see it now, it hurts. Right? It breaks my heart to see it.
But the game again in Horton, right? I mean, I would say that was electric. This
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And it had that feel, of a much bigger crowd, because Horton with the acoustics and stuff like that, and I'm sure if you talk to players on the team, the way that game felt versus other games is just night and day.
Well, and you could tell. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there. I was down in Florida, but I was watching it on TV and could hear it. But you could tell the difference in how the players played, right?
Yeah.
And that's for any competitor. If you got somebody watching you, just play a little bit harder. You cut a little bit harder. You just do the small things a little bit better and a little bit harder. And you just really saw the emotions come out of those guys. And it was really fun to watch. We just need to get that back to Redbird, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
So your freshman year, you mentioned you didn't have, as a team,
Crickets.
a lot of wins. But there was one special game, right? And I was at this game. A highly touted Creighton came in, and aforementioned coach of Missouri State, who played at Illinois State, hit a game-winning shot. Tell us about that game.
Yeah, back in Dana, even though we whooped them. No, Dana was a great teammate. Creighton was the cream of the crop back in the day, and they came into the house, and we beat them. We kind of had them beat the whole game, and then they just made a run because that's, they were that good. And Dana hit a half-court shot, and it was electric. I mean, bench clearing. We had the fans coming down from the stands, and it was just a party at half court, and it was awesome. I mean, it was fun. It was cool. That's kind of what you, as a young player, you kind of dream of those kind of things, and especially for Dana, I'm sure Dana had plenty of dreams of hitting half court shot or full court shot to win a game, right?
Right.
And it was just to see it actually happen right in front of you. It was pretty cool. It was pretty special.
So then, the years progress, and your junior year, you guys had a lot of success. We talked about that, right? Made the NIT. But there was a game that you talked about, that was kind of a little bit special. You guys went into Southern, okay, at Southern. It was the last regular season game, and you broke a little streak there of theirs. But let's talk about that game a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what they had some kind of home winning streak, and like I told you guys earlier, I think ESPN was at the game, as I feel like it was an afternoon game, and we beat them on their home court, and the fans, they had no idea what to do, and there was so much going on in the locker room after we won. It was awesome. Again, another moment where you take such a success story and you put all your, dog days of putting whatever you got into the gym. A lot of people think they play college basketball. They're lucky. We are lucky. Don't get me wrong, but
absolutely,
it's a full-time job, right? And then you finally see something like that come out into play, and you beat these guys at their home court, 100 and some game winning streak, and just beat their ass.
Yeah.
And just to like feel the success finally come out, right? It's a feeling you can't necessarily. I mean, I can sit here and try to talk to you about it and tell you how it feels, but you can't explain it, right?
But Brandon,
John, I'm sure you've been in a situation like that before. Like
the feeling of their stunned silence, and you're walking with your chest out like, suck it. But you can't do that, right? You got to shake everybody's hand. You got to be all nice, and but you're like, you hear that? It's crickets, bitches. Yep. You can't hear nothing, right? And so,
exactly.
Right? I mean, that's exactly what you're talking about, right? And to go beat. And the coaches post this stuff all the time. 100-game winning streak, and they're trying to motivate us late in the season.
The funny thing is, too, there's Southern's arena at the time wasn't very big, maybe 8,000 people in there, and the 15 guys running off the court were the loudest. Right? It was
Yeah.
fun, though.
Yeah.
Again, that's another, just same thing with Dana. Those are things that you don't forget.
Don't ever forget. Nope. And you said it's like a job. Playing college basketball is like 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week, especially if you're losing and having some midnight practices or.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People don't know about those.
Oh,
Get off
yeah.
the plane. Hey, meet you at the gym in an hour. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, you get off the plane taped and ready at 45. We're at Bloomington Airport. We got a 20-minute drive and to get ready at 40. It's like, oh, crap, right?
But it is. I mean, it's class from 8 to 1, weights at 3, practice at 4 to 6, 4 to 7, and then film after that. I mean, it's all day, every
And
day.
then study hall.
And then study
For
hall.
those of us that didn't have good grades,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
study
we
hall.
got through, though, right? We made it.
Got a degree, baby.
So Brandon, your junior year, you guys had a lot of success, and there was one team in the Valley, which you guys had to play 3 times, which you guys only had 10 losses that whole year, and they accounted for 3 of them, including the MVC championship game, and that was Drake. So tell us about those matchups with Drake.
And Steve, we weren't supposed to talk about this.
Pemberton made me do it. He said, "Don't listen to Brandon. You got to ask these questions."
Oh man, yeah. Like we were talking, Drake was those guys. They could have been blindfolded, and then they hit every shot. They would take, actually, and I didn't even tell you guys this. The best thing about it was I was a scout team guy, right? So when we always scouted against Drake on the scout team, I had 100% green light. I could shoot it. And literally, I'd come down, I'd take one dribble past half court, and I'd just fire it up there. I would airball, and Jank would be so pissed because I was able to get a shot off, right? It was great. Those are the good days of practice when I could just shoot it whenever I wanted. But, yeah, Drake, Emmenecker, Corver, there's another big tall dude, I can't remember his name, but they shot the shit out of it every time we played them. Every time. Played them close at our house, played them close at their house, and then they just mollywopped us in the championship game at the Valley. Beat us by 30 or something. And it was just to the point where, like, what do you do? They came out, in my wildest remember of what happened. I mean, of course, they came down and hit 15 shots in a row. That probably didn't happen, but it felt like that, right?
Right.
And they were just that good. And to hit on the offensive strategy, they got beat. What'd you say? 101 to 99 in the
101 to 99 against Western Kentucky
in the NCAA tournament, and they were the 5 seed playing against the 12. Well, shit, if they would have scored 102. So again, guess what? Western Kentucky scored more than 100, and they won. It's weird how that works, isn't it?
There you go. But getting back to you guys had such a good season, and your RPI, which was what people were measured back by then, was really good, and everyone was thinking maybe an at-large, right? But that championship game hurt, being on CBS and.
It hurt. Like I was telling you guys earlier too, we lost to Eastern Michigan at Eastern Michigan in just one of those dumb games, on the road, not really necessarily pumped up to play Eastern Michigan. I don't know at the time. We probably only lost one game, maybe not. Actually, we were undefeated. It might have been the first non-conference we lost. And we were just thinking Eastern Michigan, right? But that's just how basketball works, You let your guard down one little bitty bit, boom, you get your butt kicked, and cost us potential. I mean, there's probably a lot of things that might have come into fruition on how we didn't get picked, but sitting in that room, we were down in the Legends room during the selection show, and not to get selected, it was just kind of just a stab in the heart. We were there, and then boom, done. So
you guys, you made two
hurts
NIT.
A little bit, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Didn't make the NCAA that year, and I know it was disappointing. Those two teams your junior and senior year. They both went to NIT, which was pretty good. We hadn't been to a postseason in a while, and your junior year you guys beat Utah State. Senior year you played Kansas State to an overtime game, great game. Let's talk a little bit about those NIT games.
Yeah, Utah State came into Redbird. We didn't beat them hard, but we handled them pretty good. We had a good game in your home court, and then Dayton came in, and Dayton was good. I think Dayton made it to the Final Four of that year. They might have even made it to the championship game. I don't know, but they were just a good team, and we played good. We just one of those games that you better bring your best, right? When you get to the postseason, if you don't play your best, you're not going to win. It is what it is, right? And then my senior year, we went down to Kansas State, and that was probably that was back maybe freshman year. We went down to Florida State in a tournament, so it wasn't necessarily it was like a day game, Saturday day game. But playing Kansas State in the NIT in Kansas State, Big 12, and they were obviously good. That was a whole different atmosphere. I mean, the kids were rowdy. The crowd was rowdy. It's kind of a smaller gym. It's not, what you would think would be a big arena. And ISU's, we're lucky. I mean, ISU's arena is probably one of the bigger arenas in the nation, really. Now that I shouldn't say that now. I mean, heck, I was there 10 years ago.
Right.
A little over 10 years ago. But 10,000 seats in an arena, that's huge. That's a big arena, right? We go down to Kansas State. I mean, I don't know. Definitely less than 10, I would say, at the time. And they were just right on top of you. I mean, it was just on top of you. Students were basically could touch you. I mean, it obviously wasn't a Duke, but it was pretty close. That's kind of how rowdy it was. And we took them to overtime. We played one of our best games. We took them to overtime, and we just fell a shot short. I mean, to beat Kansas State on their own turf, that's always going to be a tough game.
In the postseason, yep. It's a tough call, yep.
But it was fun. Another game you'll remember. You don't forget.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was your last basketball game. That was your senior year, right?
Last basketball game. And then I could tell you about all the glory days of rec ball after that, but I don't want to bore anybody.
Well, let's talk about post-graduation. So you graduated in December and stuff like that, right? And then you made a decision that's probably pretty unusual. Not most basketball players are making. What did you do after you graduated?
I turned pro. Professional golf. I played golf. My dad played golf all growing up. I played golf growing up. And I guess I could say I was fortunate to go to ISU because I could still play. I mean, obviously didn't play a lot, but could still grab my hands on a club and go swing in the off season,
Yeah.
And then I got done, I'm like, what the hell? I was kind of naturally gifted. Give it a shot. So I played professional for about 4 years. I wasn't making money. I was making enough to keep playing, right?
Right.
I wasn't really making enough to live.
Right.
And it got to the point where my wife today, I was dating her for a long time, and I just kind of said, enough's enough. And I kind of went into it as, I'll give it 2 years. If I get better, we'll continue to go, right? And I did. I got better and better and better. I got to my 4th year, and I just kind of lost that. At that time, I'm 24, 25 years old. Like, all right, dude, what are you going to do the rest of your life?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when I got done, I actually got freaking better. And I honestly, I still play professionally today. I play in a couple, like the Illinois Open. Was kind of a big tournament for me. I'll call it one of my majors. I have 3 majors that I kind of play in: the Illinois Open, the Metro Open, which is down in the St. Louis area, and then Waterloo Open, which is up in Iowa. Very, very good tournaments. I finished second in the Illinois Open probably, 4 times, maybe 3, 4 times. And we're talking, you know, those checks are $15,000 to $20,000 checks. Like
Wow.
that's not a. I like to call it my part-time job. That's what I tell my wife, anyways. She calls it just something you do.
Yeah.
But just
Brandon,
just
what's more pressure? Game's tied. No, the game you're down 1. There's 10,000 screaming fans. You're at the free throw line. You have to make that, or you got this. You're at the Illinois tournament, and you got a 10-foot putt to make. Which one?
Well, I've had them both actually, and they both suck. I'd say just because I was a basketball guy, you know, that's all I did growing up. I played golf on the side, right? You know, just to have that repetition, you're comfortable there all the time, right? But I did the Illinois Open. Oh, this was a few years ago now. I had a putt on the last hole for eagle, and if I make it, I win. If I miss it, then I tie for first. We go in a playoff, and we ended up going in a playoff. Ended up losing, unfortunately, but I think the basketball would be easier just because it's so repetitive. The golf was just something different, and there's like it's such a different feel, emotionally and physically. Basketball, you know, you can kind of rough and tough. If you're pissed off, you go hit somebody, right? Golf, what are you going to hit? You can go hit the tree. You're going to hit the ground, and I've done them both. Believe me. But it's a very humbling sport. We'll put it that way. Basketball is all about the hoorah. You know, hit a shot and you run down the court. You're pumping your chest, having fun. Make a defensive stop. I didn't do a whole lot of that, but made a few shots to make it fun. And then golf, you make a putt and you're like, okay, now I gotta hit another shot. So yeah, I would say the basketball would be a little bit easier, but both are tough.
And Brandon, I will tell you this: the reason why I can't play golf is, you know, my mentality is if I'm playing bad, I'm just going to hit you harder, go at you harder, right? Try to score in the post, get that next rebound, and knock somebody on their butt, right? That's not the mentality you have to have in golf, right? You can't keep getting madder and madder at the situation and get yourself fired up more and more and just, you know, you got to relax into that next shot and clear your mind. And that's just not how Jon Pemberton's wired. John's wired into, hey, if I didn't break it the first time, I'm going to hit it again until I break it a second time, right? And so, yeah, that's why I can't play golf. And so,
my style of golf is a little bit different than some of the other guys because I'm the same way, John. I mean, I want to break something so bad sometimes. And that's, you gotta have backup clubs in your trunk because you never know when something might happen. But it is. It's humbling. It's definitely a lot of what I like to call, I guess, breathing mechanisms. You really gotta, take it in and get it out. You know, as growing up playing basketball, your get out was knocking somebody right in their chest, right? Or running faster down the court because you're pissed off. So yeah, definitely. I'd say you go from here, basketball-wise, all the way down to here, golf-wise, right?
Yeah.
So it's
well, in
definitely.
high school you were a shooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you came in ISU, you're a shooter, and the mentality as a shooter, right? If you miss your shot, what do? You put it back up, right?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, did you have a little tin cup in you where like you're sitting out and it's like, just give me the ball, I'll show you I can do it, right?
200, exactly. 250 yards over the water. Shit, I got this all day, right?
Exactly.
Drop the bad boy and you hit it again. But no, I mean, that being said, too, Steve, you know, I played golf in high school. We got my teams were very good. We finished like second, third, and ninth in state my sophomore to senior year. I played my junior and senior year. I played as the one, so just kind of naturally. And being a shooter, really helped my golf game. It's very visual, right? Golf is very visual to me. Shooting is very visual to me. You know, you kind of see your rotation, you see the arch, and that's kind of how golf is. You see your shot direction, you kind of see the lay of the land. So it all kind of, for me, it kind of came together. And I still, I mean, you can ask Colton, I'll still take his ass out there and I'll outshoot him.
When I was in high school, shooting was very visual too. I used to shoot it, and the guy used to swat it back at me.
You got the bad visuals.
I got the bad visual.
Yeah.
But I read somewhere. I want you to verify this that that you drove the ball 380 yards. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean that's my strength is driving the ball. Yeah, I mean downwind, firm. Yep. I mean, I probably, and I don't like. Again, golf makes you really humble, so you don't toot your own horn here. But
it's okay. It's a basketball thing. Toot it.
Yeah, this is Bird fans.
That's what I tell them. I'm not a golfer. I'm a basketball player playing golf. Right.
Right.
But probably, definitely over 300. Probably 310ish is what I average off the tee.
Pretty good.
That is awesome.
And that's my best club. It's pretty straight. I play a little fade, but still trying to win something.
That is awesome. All right, so Brandon, we're going to wrap this up. Here's where we give you a chance to give your closing remarks before we wrap the show up. So, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Hey, I'm in real estate. If you need a house, come talk to me.
There you go.
I'm in. Just joined Remax Rising in Bloomington. Got to give a shout out to John Armstrong. He's a big ISU guy.
Who sold me? He's my realtor, which I bought my house here in Bloomington.
Well, John, guess what? I'm the new John. So come talk to me, right? Other thing. To all the ISU fans, love you. Hope you guys keep supporting everything that's going on at ISU. I really think that we're heading in the right direction. Coach P is awesome. He's been to my house a couple times, for goodness sake, and I'm just an old ex-player, right? Obviously with some ties with Colton being my brother, but I think he's really going to do some big things.
Good.
And then for Colton's sake, he's going to get healthy. I think he had a little procedure done today, tomorrow maybe, and hope to see his little punk ass back on the court next week, doing what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
And you know, those kids are really good kids. I think Colton has a very strong emotional side to him when he's playing, and I think those kids feed off of it, which is great, right? Whether they're playing bad or good, the emotion we can get a lot out of, right? So, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Let's change the era. Let's change the atmosphere. Let's get some fans in there. Let's make it fun. If you see me at the game, I had a hard time sitting in my seat. I got to get up and move around. I'm emotional. I'm an emotional fan. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys are doing a great job. I love this. This is fun. This is cool. Keep people involved, and again, hopefully we can get some wins, get some people in the stands, and
amen, brother. Amen.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Brandon Holtz. This is Bird Fans, episode number 25. We never thought we'd get past 1, let alone 2, and now we're at 25. And so with that, we're signing off. John, take us out, big man. You got clapping.